What's up, YouTube? JP back for another JP Gaming. Today we are back on our lessons, our free-to-play account, JP Gaming, that we started. I've been recording before putting them up, so this was recorded a day in advance, but I believe this is episode 3. So up until now, first lesson, they're not really lessons, we're just kind of playing along from a new account. Hopefully you guys will learn some tips and tricks as we go. But day 1 we did the 6 basic missions, just learned how to play the game. Lesson 2, which will have aired by now, is me going over the so after you've opened up the game per se, you start with the mage deck only, and then you have to play the other classes to unlock all the other decks. So we did that. We unlocked all of our decks, or we might have unlocked most of them, but I went ahead and I've unlocked all of them, and I've started to play 10 games on each, or I'm sorry, get to rank 10 on each, so that we can open up all the classic basic cards. I believe we've completed, as of right now, we've succeeded in Mage and Rogue. Both have our level 10 and all. Let's get a better look here. Hold on one second. So yeah, we've unlocked rank 10 on Mage and Rogue. We started working on Hunter. We have yet to touch any of the other classes, but we have reaped a few rewards. First, you'll notice that we received 100 gold. I believe we got that for reaching rank 10 with a class. We also have 4 packs. We got a pack for completing some of the first missions. You also get packs for stuff like playing on an iPad, playing on Android, which we haven't done yet. So there are few like hidden quests like that, and if you Google hidden Hearthstone quest list, you'll get a pretty good understanding of. So not only are there a lot of intro quests that reward new players, but then there's also hidden quests. So for example, get any class to level 10, which we've done. We're awarded 1 classic booster pack. Unlock every hero, which we did. You were awarded 100 gold. So there's all kinds of cool stuff like that. It gets even crazier. They have hidden stuff like own every pirate card. You receive a special pirate card called the Captain's Parrot. So go ahead and Google that. Those are really good quests for the most part. Not the pirate one, obviously, but for the easy low-hanging fruit. Those are really good to focus on when you're trying to start a new account and build your collection quick. That'll optimize your start and get you the most packs and gold to buy packs, so that you can hopefully open some good cards and boost your classic cards to a point where we can start winning. So we have 1 quest left on the board. It is First Blood. Complete a game and play mode. So they know we're probably not going to win, because they're already stipulating that we don't even need to win. We just need to play a game in play mode. So we will use Mage or Rogue, depending on how good our packs are, and we're going to go ahead and purchase a pack and open some packs. So I mentioned this in a previous video, but I believe the first pack of Old Gods, I believe the set's called, Whispers of the Old Gods. The first pack that you buy, I believe you're automatically gifted a legendary card, Cthulhu. It's probably not going to make a huge impact right out of the gates, because we will need other supporting cards in that archetype, which means we'll have to probably open some more Whispers of the Old Gods to get those cards. But I think it's an okay place to start. I don't really have any other direction. Oh yeah, we could always do the welcome bundle. It's a really good deal. So I know this is a free to play, so we'll keep it free to play currently, but we will drool every time we come in. This is a one-time shot per account. It's a heavily discounted packs. Packs are normally $2.99, or I'm sorry, $1.50 a pop. So 10 for 5 plus a guaranteed legendary is really good. So we're gonna go ahead and just spend our 100 gold on a single Whispers of the Old God pack. Let's go ahead and queue that up. We've spent the 100 gold that we've earned, and so now we have 5 packs to open. 4 classic packs that we were awarded through playing the game, and 1 Old God pack that we bought ourselves. So here we go. This is what I was talking about. A welcome from the Old Gods. Cthulhu, Battlecry, deal damage equal to this minion's attack, randomly split among all enemies. Cthulhu would like to be the first to welcome you to it. You with a tentacly embrace. Thank you. Oh, sweet, perfect. So forget everything I was saying. This is the stuff that we need to make Cthulhu viable. Cthulhu has a supporting character cards that you'll notice. The thing about supporting character Cthulhu cards, they all have battle cry for the most part. I think they all have battle cry, and they will all at least give Cthulhu buffage. So what happens is, even if Cthulhu's not in your hand, as long as he's in your deck, anytime you play a card that buffs Cthulhu, you'll see him kind of pop up out of nowhere, receive the buff. So he starts at a 6/6. First time you play Beckoner of Evil, he would become an 8/8. And that's just making him stronger for when you do draw him and when you do play him on turn 10. Remember, he does damage equal to his power and toughness. So 8, he would, instead of doing 6 randomly, he would do 8. And that goes up and up. So if you got 2 Beckoners in your deck, and you can play both of them before playing Cthulhu, he's now 10/10, etc. So at the time when this set came out, this was super cool. I remember really loving this component, mechanic, and it's a good way, I believe, to make a budget deck just starting off. So hopefully they'll give us a couple more cards here. So that's Harbinger of Doom. And one other thing, there are class cards that are Cthulhu cards, and there are better cards that are Cthulhu cards, and they not only buff him with attack and toughness, but they also maybe do other things. So we'll get there if we see them. So let's click here. Okay, so we didn't get anything else. That's unlucky. But at least we got started with the 2 low cost. So I think we'll just jump straight into the Old Gods pack. So we have 4 standard regular cards and 1 rare card. This is the weakest pack you can possibly get, but when we're just starting out, we need all these cards, so we're not going to complain. First up, Nazas First Mate, Battlecry. Equip a 1/3 Rusty Hook. It's a 1/1 warrior. Extremely good in this current meta. Very much played in aggressive pirate warrior decks. But we would want to craft Patches, the legendary pirate, to go with that package. So we are far away from that, but happy to get it into our team. It's sweet art too. I wish we could zoom in more and see exactly like what kind of bug that dude's riding. Looks like he's riding a bug. Next up, Primal Fusion. Shaman card. Give a minion 1/1 for each of your totems. This is a niche card that hasn't seen lots of play. But when we are low on cards that interact with each other, this one is pretty good considering that Shaman has totems built in. So that could easily slot into a early Shaman deck for us. Third card from the Whispers of the Old God set. Basic neutral card, so all classes can play it. High mana value, 8 mana to cast. And just a vanilla creature, so that means he's just stats with no ability. See the cool little tentacle there denoting that this is Whispers of the Old God. He's a 6/10, so that body is great. But typically if you're investing this much mana in something this big, you're gonna want it to do something on it immediately when it comes down. Because typically this will draw removal, and you will be stuck with a dead creature by the time it gets back to you. But at any rate, again, that's all under the assumption that we have tons of cards, so we're always happy to get big beaters early. We'll avoid our rare till the very end. Fourth card, Shadow Strike. Rogue card. Cool graphic. Deal 5 damage to an undamaged character. A couple things to note there. 5 damage is great, and it can technically go to the opponent or to the opponent's minions, but there is a huge caveat, being that character or minion has to be undamaged. So technically, yes, you could use it to hurt a character, but you're only going to get to do that when they're at 30 life starting off. So more than likely going to be used to clear minions, but 5 damage for 3 is very good. And typically, if you want to clear a minion, it's going to be undamaged. So it's a good card for us. That leans us. I mentioned that we're going to look to play Major Rogue from the start, and this kind of starts to gently guide us towards Rogue. Final card, the payoff card of the pack. All packs are guaranteed at least a rare, but we're always looking for epics, which are purple, or even better, legendaries, which are orange. There's something called pity timers baked into the system. We'll talk about that a little later, but it guarantees we open legendary at some point. So let's get this popping. Alright, so we opened another Shaman card. Master of Evolution. Battle Cry. Transform a friendly minion into a random one that costs 1 more. So for example, if we played Master of Evolution and used the Battle Cry on the Eldritch Horror, the Eldritch Horror would turn into a random minion that would cost 9 mana. It's pretty powerful. Also pretty decent stats for a 4 body. 4/5. I do remember seeing some play in kind of niche Shaman Evolve decks. Yeah. So, but we're not here to play Shaman, so let's moving on. Next up, and we'll buy some more of those Whispers of the Old God packs, I believe. Even though at some point this year, I think they'll be rotating out, which means we won't be able to play with the cards in Standard. I think it's a very good value target that we can strive for to get some early wins and get the machine rolling. So now we're back to our classic packs. These are packs that will never rotate out of Standard. They're always going to be available, thus the name. They have some really good cards, but it's a large set and there's a lot of legendaries and epics. So we have no idea what we're going to open here. Hopefully we get lucky. Let's get to it. So again, we got a base set, 4 regulars and commons, I should be saying, and 1 rare. So we'll go ahead and just snap these off. Unbound Elemental. Whenever you play an Overload card, getting 1/1, that's Shaman. Overload's a good ability. This card doesn't see a lot of play, but not bad for us. We're getting a lot of Shaman cards. Ooh, perfect. Eviscerate. Deal 2 damage. Combo. Deal 4 damage instead. This is a bread and butter card. Now I don't know if they give this to you in your basics, so this I don't know. So anything without the common symbol would mean it's a basic card that you get for free. So we are extremely happy to pick up an Eviscerate. It's exactly what we need. Next up, Dread Corsair, another good pirate. This is a neutral pirate, so all classes can play it. The only classes that would want to play it would be Warrior and Rogue, or maybe Shaman. Any class that can play weapons, because it's a 3/3 taunt and it costs 1 less per attack of your weapon. So if you're a rogue and you have your heroic ability weapon out, it would reduce the cost. buy one, and it would cost 3. It's good to play in a rogue deck. Maybe. So we'll keep that in mind. Moving on. Young Dragonhawk. Pretty shitty card. All classes. It's a low-cost minion, which we've talked about in the past. We're very keen to play high-value, low-costed creatures. Unfortunately, because it has such a powerful ability of Wind Fury means that it can attack twice each turn. Because it has such a powerful ability on such a low-costed minion, the stats are really screwed, really toned down, so that it's not overpowered. It could never be a 2-1 or a 2-2, because you would be threatening so much damage and so much board control from an early state with that Wind Fury. So they have to make it 1-1, and therefore it's never going to amount to much. So many things can answer that card and stop it from even seeing turn 2 light of day. So we definitely won't be playing Young Dragonhawk. And for our final payoff card, see what our first rare classic card is going to be. Oh, nice. Okay, so Stampeding Kodo, all classes. Neutral cards are typically weak, but this one has a really good ability, actually. Not to mention, we'll go from the top. So it's 5 mana, which is a busy mana slot. You are fighting for position with Azure Drakes, for example. But this one's pretty good. It has a Battle Cry ability that destroys a random enemy minion with 2 or less attack. That's good. That can hit stealth characters that you normally couldn't touch. And that can do some pretty fun and exciting things. And then it also has decent attack and defense values. And then finally, it is a beast, which is a consideration in Hunter, specifically classic Hunter decks, which I believe we will play because it's a good class. They have a 4-drop card that gives a beast 2/2 taunt. So this plus that is pretty sweet in my opinion. So keep that in mind. Moving on to the next pack, we got 3 more to open here. Pretty happy with that one. Alright, so we got our first value pack. We don't have a legendary yet, but we got only 3 commons this time. We got our rare, and we have our first epic. So going around the wheel. First up, Slam. Great warrior card. Classic. Deal 2 damage to a minion. If it survives, draw a card. Love that card. Don't really care for warriors that much, but happy to have it. Next up, Hunter. Probably the class that we're going to approach third. It's Freezing Trap, iconic secret that can do some good work. In this day and age, so many creatures come with Battle Cry abilities that Freezing Trap is not that valuable to play. But in the right meta, the right conditions, against the right decks, this can be an absolute game breaker. This keeps the tempo on your side. Yeah. Another good Hunter card, Unleash the Hounds. For each enemy minion, summon a 1/1 Hound with charge. You can use this to clear boards. You can use this to get in extra damage. You can use it to do beast combos, death combos. So happy to have that. Next up, we have our rare Shadow Flame. Alright, so this is a good Warlock card. Destroy a friendly minion and deal its attack damage to all enemy minions. You definitely see this card in control decks such as Reno. This is used to great advantage. I love playing this card. It opens a lot of cool plays and opportunities. So eventually, once we have enough tools to put together a deck like that, that's a great addition to the family. And here we are for the purple glowy epic card. Clicky clicky. Another pirate. I think it's telling us to play pirates. South Sea Captain. All classes, a neutral card, so anybody can play it. Your pirates have +1/+1. okay stats, pretty normal. It's the ability and played in like a swarm deck, an aggro deck that can really push the opponent quickly into the red zone. If you can imagine establishing a quick board with one drops and 2-drop pirates, dropping this on turn 3 or turn 4 can really just put you in the driver's seat. So pretty happy overall with that. Actually really happy. Love these two down here especially. 2 more packs to go. Haven't seen a legendary yet. So back to a base pack of just 1 epic. Or rare, sorry. And 4 commons. So we'll get popping. Mark of the Nature. It's okay. I don't know. Choose one. Give a minion +4 attack or +4 health and taunt. Typically, I think you'd only want to play this if you have the Druid legendary card Fandrel, which when he's on the battlefield allows you to do both options of an or card. So though, I mean, it's good. It gives a minion reach ability to take out bigger creatures or close a game. It also provides defense. Unfortunately, things like Sap and Sheep and Hex can deal with that. So, moving on. Inner Rage. Interesting warrior card. I believe this card was featured in a deck called Patron, which is a neutral card that warrior deck played. Deal 1 damage to a minion and give it +2 attack. A lot of times you're actually using that on your own creatures, which is interesting. It's a lot of cool plays. We may or may not, depending on if we get a lot of more warrior cards. We've gotten some pirates, we've gotten slam. So depending on if they keep feeding us warrior cards, we may take a look at that class sooner than later. Next up, Loot Hoarder. Classic card. You see it all the time. It's played, many classes play this card. Neutral, obviously. It's similar to 2-drop 1/1 Battle Cry that comes in the basic classic. That card's a 1/1 draw card when you play it. This one is a 2/1 draw card when it dies. So the 2 attack is great. You can do a lot of trading 1-for-1 early game because of it. We talk a lot about how 1 toughness can really hamstring or hurt low costed creatures, or any creature really, specifically against mage and rogue that have hero abilities that do 1 damage. But because this card is what is referred to as a cycler, it cycles, you play it, but then you're guaranteed to get usually guaranteed to get another card. It cycles itself. It's a good card. We love it. Thank you for opening for us. If we got another one, that would be sick. But next up, Venture Company Mercenary. Your minions cost 3 more. So this is one of those weird cards where it's so good, the stats are so pushed, so to speak, that when you play it, you now have to play around a disadvantage. So once you've played Venture Company Mercenary, your minions cost 3 more. Funnily enough, the 2 classes that we're considering playing, Mage and Rogue, that wouldn't be too bad. Typically, late game spells for both of those classes are spell related, so we wouldn't be penalized in that regard. It's only minions, so we'll keep that in mind. I've never seen anybody play that card either, so it'll be fun to make a deck around something that is universally hated. And finally, we have a Young Priestess. At the end of your turn, give another random friendly minion 1 health. It's kind of a bullshit card. Neutral. I don't know. It's an okay ability, but you're not going to get much use out of it before it dies, in my opinion. So, moving on. Last pack of the video. Haven't gotten a legendary yet. There is something called Pity Timer. I believe it's... Let me look it up real quick so we can get some good information here. Hearthstone. Pity Timer. The probability is increasing as the amount of packs increases, and it also shows a significant gain after 30 packs. So it sounds like if we open, on this account, if we continue to open packs, our chances of opening a legendary will become greater and greater until we open 30 packs. If we still have not opened a legendary after 30 packs, we're almost guaranteed to open a legendary. So that's a cool way to keep you going, keep you interested, and know that there's going to be a carrot at the end of the stick. Unfortunately, especially in Classic, and for most part, there's a lot of shitty legendaries. So even though you're guaranteed to get a legendary, you're not always guaranteed to get a legendary that will be useful. Back to our game client here. And our final pack is just a basic pack again. 4 commons and a rare. Lightning Bolt, extremely good. Shaman card, extremely good. We discussed Overload briefly. This is a really good Overload card. 3 damage, no minion or face for 1. There's other cards that can take advantage of this disadvantage, so extremely happy to have Lightning Bolt. Another Shaman card, decent. Typically not played in top tier decks, but something that I would not kick out of bed. Not only do you get a silence a minion, and silence removes whatever special abilities that minion has. So if it's like a taunt minion that we can't fight through, we can silence it, and then suddenly it's no longer taunt, and we can go around it. And it also deals 1. So we can use it as different kinds of removal, which is always good. Wisp sucks. 0 cost, 1/1. Only time you see this played is in extreme combo niche like Tavern Brawl decks. Final common card of the night, Flesh Eating Ghoul. Cool name, cool art. Okay effect. Whenever a minion dies, gain 1 attack. This would be good with our Unleash the Hounds that we opened up earlier, the Hunter card. So that's the type of death mechanics that you can take advantage of. But again, it's the 3 toughness really hurts it. Just 1 more toughness would have, like if this, instead of being a 2/3, if this was a 1/4, whenever a minion dies, gain 1 attack, I think you'd see a lot more people playing it. As it stands, not that great, but we're always happy to have it. And our final card of the night is a funny one. It sucks, but in a weird way, if you can buff it, it can get pretty degenerate quick. So, yeah, everything we've been repeating. It's a low-cost mana creature, which is good, but the 1 toughness makes it hard. The funny thing is, to get the ability to trigger Enrage means if it takes damage, it gains +5 attack. Sounds great, but you gotta remember, there's only 1 damage on the guy. So we have to find a way, you'd have to find a way to buff it. First, buff its health, then do a damage to it, and then suddenly it's a powerful creature. So I'm not saying it's impossible to do, and I've seen people use the card, but I don't think we're going to get much advantage out of it early, and it's not very competitive. So, nothing really stood out. Let's take a quick look. You see all of our classes up here in the tabs. Anything we open will be marked new. We're interested in Mage, where we didn't open any new class cards, unfortunately. And Rogue, where we opened up an Eviscerate and a Shadow Strike. Those are very good. We opened up Freezing Trap and Unleash the Hounds and Hunter, which is decent. So we could consider going that direction with the Hound Masters, which are strong, we talked about. Didn't pick up any Paladin cards, didn't pick up any Priest cards. We looked at Rogue already. Shaman we cleaned up. And we have some really good removal spells, decent removal spells, kind of a niche spell that will work for us. That's gonna make it tough. Warlock, we only picked up the Shadow Flame. Warrior, we picked up some good stuff, but we don't really have anything to really work off of N'Zoth's First Mate. And finally, we picked up 13 classic cards, including some crappy, basic, or one drops, decent Cthulhu supporting Cthulhu character that we'll need to keep in the back of our mind for later once we open up more Whispers of the Old Gods. Loot Hoarder, which will go into all of our decks for sure. There's the Sister Novus Engineer that I was talking about. So those two are like peanut butter and jelly. Flesh Eating Ghoul will probably include, depending. Probably skip the Pirates for now. Stampeding Kodo is interesting. And Cthulhu, but I don't think it's time yet. It will be, buddy. I don't think opening this would reset our pity timer, but it was the first pack we opened anyways, so I don't think it made a huge deal, but it's always an interesting discussion to be had. Alright, so to make this video a little bit quicker, we're just going to actually forego playing Major Rogue because we didn't really open up too much value there. We're actually going to go to our old boy Hunter. And so here we will we're going to remove, hit the fuck out of my face. Alright, we're going to remove one tracking. I kind of like tracking here. Tracking lets us dig into our deck and look for cards. We'll specifically want to be finding Houndmaster with it. So we're actually going to remove an Ironforge Rifleman. Both Ironforge Riflemen. Insert 2 Animal Companion. Then we'll remove both Storm Pikes. We'll put in our Unleash the Hounds and our Freezing Trap. And then we will, what else we got here? Do we want to include that? Do we have enough beasts? Beast, not a beast, not a beast. Beast. Let's take a quick look at here. Let's filter by the word beast. Ironfur Grizzly is probably a good addition. Oh yeah, we got to get our boy Stampeding Kodo up in this piece. So we'll remove Corround. Put in a. Oh shit, that's a beast. All right. Take out the Razor Fin. Put the beast back in. Remove one Raid Leader and the other Razor Fin. Put the 2 Ironfur Grizzlies in. We're back up to 30. Let's take a quick look at the. Now that we have beasts, let us reconsider. One thing we haven't talked about yet, and we won't go into too much detail currently, but we'll cover this later. There's something that's what's called a curve, and it's the distribution of your cards. If you hover over your deck, you'll notice that it gives us a card to mana cost. So we currently have 8 1-drops, 5 2-drops, etc. We might be a little light on the 2-drops, but I don't think there's much we can do to buff that up. Actually, I think we're going to want to play a Acidic Ooze. Oh no, Loot Hoarder. So we will take a look at our. So we want to lower our 3-drops. So we're actually lower. We're going to remove a Silverback Patriarch. That seems productive because it's a taunt and it's a beast, but we're heavy in the 3-drop slot, and the taunt ability is somewhat redundant when we're actively looking for Hound Masters. So we'll remove a Silverback, we'll add a Loot Hoarder. Take a quick look. Is there any other 2-drops that we'd even want to add? No, I think we're going to give it a shot. Even though I'd like to squeeze in a... You know what? I'm going to drop a Hound and add an Acidic Swamp Ooze. So 2 tech cards. This guy destroys opponent's weapons. There's a lot of weapons floating around right now, so it's good tech. Second tech card, not so much a tech card, but just we're gonna want to draw cards. So I'd rather have a low-costed 2/1 instead of trying to get cute with beast synergies with the Starving Buzzard. So we'll give this a shot. Give this a name here. My first deck. Done. Back. So we're going to initiate our first game. Haven't decided whether we're going to play on standard or ladder, and I think we will. But first blood, complete a game in play mode. So here we go. I think it's asking us to play casual first, or it's highlighting casual. That's where we can play anything in standard. But no matter if we win or lose, it's not going to affect our rank. That's bullshit. One mistake I made playing this game for a long time before I really got into it was that I was always nervous about playing ranked, and I didn't want to win, or I didn't want to lose a lot, and so I always stuck to casual. And I don't think there's a big difference between the two. You're going to run into really strong decks in casual just as much as you'll run into them on the ranked ladder. So we're just going to click in, take our brand new newbie My First Deck. We haven't even unlocked all the cards yet, and we're going to get to it. If we win this, we will all sleep happy tonight for sure. More than likely, we're going to get stomped, rolled up, but we're doing it together and we're learning. All right. So we're playing a mage. I'm actually going to dump the Stone Tusk. We have a Timberwolf, but we're not even going to play that on 1 because the mage can clear it on 2. We're definitely playing the River Crocolisk on 2. I believe we will use Tracking on turn 1 to look at the top 3 cards of our deck, draw 1 and discard the other. We will reevaluate once we do that, but we'll probably want to look for a 3-drop minion to play or a Hound Master on 4. There's a 3-drop we want to curve. So we'll go ahead and stick to our game plan. Track out. So it's always good to track or look at cards or get more information when you know what kind of deck you're going up against, or they have a board state so that you're more reactive. Currently we have no idea what we're up against. We don't know if they play minions or have minions with 2 or less attack. Typically that's the case in Mage. And I think Stampeding Kodo has enough benefit and upside. We're going to go ahead and take it. It does leave us open on turn 4. But hopefully we'll pick up something to do before then. If nothing else to do, we'll go ahead and pass. Let's see. What's our opponent going to start with? Alright, so we have probably, I don't know how this works, but I believe the game attempts to stick you with only new opponents. So at this moment it's anybody's game. We're going to go ahead and play a River Crocolisk. We're going to offer the trade for him. He could technically put his Murloc Raider and his hero power to clear. But it looks like he's going upstairs for a 3-drop, coining out something. Alright, so he's going face. We will stem the bleeding by playing our 3/3 taunt. Swing back. Being very aggressive. Keep throwing taunts in his face. See how he can answer. He can answer with a fireball if he wanted to. Continue to go face. But we're sitting pretty good right now to kind of stem the bleeding and halt his aggression. He makes a smart play and clears the Beast Enabler. It's a really good turn for us. Probably the best role. So if you're not familiar with the Animal Companion, there's 3 Animal Companions that you can summon. Leok, 2/4 3-drop, buffs all other minions. Huffer, little 3-drop pig, it's 4/2 charge. And then some other guy, some sort of grizzly, he's a 4/4 taunt, I believe. All pretty good, very powerful card. But Leok was probably the best in this situation, simply because it allows our silverback to clear the Bloodfin Raptor. He could choose to spend 2 of his mana to clear that and allowing the Raptor to get through. Well, that's fine. Now we just have to determine if we want to play Bloodfin and present 3 more damage next turn, or Steady Shot this turn for 2. We're not worried about much board clear that can touch 2 damage. So we'll go ahead and just throw down the Bloodfin Raptor because it's 1 more damage if it can stay on the board. So he goes sheep. Now he had lost the ability to effectively use his hero power there because he used all of his mana. This would not fire because this is more than 3. So we're going to go ahead and tracking. Getting the card that we were looking for. Playing that card on the biggest guy we got and going face, because face is the place. Starting to run away with the game. If I'm familiar with this deck, he's running out of answers. That's 1 fireball. He's only got 1 left. We can put down the Core Hound. So now he effectively only has 2 cards. He should only have 2 cards in his entire deck that can answer this. Second Sheep and a Fireball. We're just plays on plays. There you go. That's how you do it. Always trying to look for value. Always trying to control the board. Having played Mage and unlocked it up to rank 10, I was comfortable knowing exactly what was in the deck. So constantly reevaluating what's been played, what can he answer the threats that I'm playing. You want to be able to stick minions on the board and know exactly how can he answer this, how can he deal with this, what can he possibly do to decrease my advantage and increase his advantage. I feel like the Mage deck is a good deck, and it's something that we want to be playing if we pick up some good cards. but I think currently with what we were offered, it's just not there yet. So at any rate, we got the first win. We go up to rank 5. Off camera tonight, I'm probably going to finish ranking up Hunter to rank 10 so that we can unlock all basic cards. We won our first game. Every 3 games you win on ladder, you receive 10 gold. And we received our 5th pack, our 5th classic pack. First Blood. Not only did we complete a game, but we kicked ass in that game, fam. So before we go, we will cross our fingers and take a crack. They're up in the ante. We don't have to win still, but we just have to play 3 more games in play mode. So we'll probably do that next lesson together, because I feel like that's kind of where we're going to get the most value out of these things. It's fun to see us open cards, and we'll get some value out of building decks together. But going up against newbie decks and newbie accounts with our newbie account, we're going to get a lot of good information out of it. So we'll save that quest for next lesson. But real quick before we go, I'll cross our fingers. Of course, we don't get shit. But again, these are all good cards to us because we desperately need all these cards for our sets. We were looking for Mage, Hunter, Rogue. We love them. We want them. Here we go. Dark Iron Dwarf, good card. Really good card in Arena. Decent card all around. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Neutral card, 4/4, decent body. But the reason why it's good is because it gives a minion to attack this turn. You can buff smaller creatures to attack into bigger creatures, etc. Jungle Panther, decent card. 3-drop, Beast, happy to have it in our Hunter deck. 4/2, and the 2 is not that bad because Stealth. Stealth is a new mechanic. So far we've seen Charge and Taunt. What Stealth does is it obscures the minion on the board. You can see it, but it's covered in fog. And until that minion attacks, Stealth means that the opponent cannot target it, cannot swing into it with another minion, basically cannot interact with it unless you're using board clears that do damage to everything. So if you did 2 damage to everything, it would kill this beast. Or if we had some sort of Kodo mechanic, a random, like destroy random creature, they can still be selected during that. But other than that, until you attack, nothing can interact with Stealth characters. So pretty cool little card. Happy to have it. Stormforge Axe. They are really pushing us towards Shaman here. An okay axe. It's effectively 6 damage over 3 turns with an overload disadvantage or advantage depending on how you look at it or build your deck. Cool Paladin card. I don't think we've seen any Paladin cards up until this point. Paladin's not in a good place currently, but historically has been a pretty strong class. I would love to build a fun little minion creature deck with Paladin cards, and this is a good one. So, just all around beater. And final card for the night. Our rare. Another Angry Chicken. So there you go. That is how Hearthstone works. You're going to open up a lot of shit that you don't want before we get to the good stuff. So we're 5 packs closer to our pity timer. We now have a set of Angry Chickens. If we wanted to get cute, we know what to do. There we go. Appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you've learned something new. I also noticing here they're highlighting Arena for us. So I believe the first Arena attempt normally costs $150 or 150 gold, but the first time you do it on a new account, you get a free Arena. So that's something else that we'll record at a later date. Check off our list. And I'm actually very excited about this new session, new account. I'm having such a great time recording. I'm going to start dedicating more of the week to these lessons and less about my main account. We'll still get some good games in with meta-defining decks and all the expensive legendary cards, but I think starting fresh, playing, getting these cards, and kind of doing all these little hidden quests and stuff is super fun. It's first time for me, and I hope that you all are enjoying it. If you are, give me a thumbs up. Tell your friends, spread the word for me, help me get some more subscribers to get the word out. And until tomorrow, we'll see you later. Thanks.